everyone, I am the Creepy Kentuckian.
And I'm Uncle Bill.
Hello folks, and welcome back to the DEADPIT DVD reviews here on YouTube.com. I'm the Creepy Kentuckian.
And I'm Uncle Bill.
And we're here to talk about a special subgenre of horror that a lot of people don't appreciate.
That's right. For some reason, people don't talk about these movies that much.
Yeah. Movies that tell you, don't.
That's right. These are films that warn you not to do something, as in don't go somewhere, or not
Don't
to
do
be
this.
something,
Right.
or, just different things with the word don't in the title.
And we have a bunch of them to talk about. There's actually dozens and dozens of these titles out there, but we're going to talk about 5 or 6 of them this time on the show.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll talk about more eventually.
It would take literally weeks, months to get all these films together in one place. But we do have a few select titles in the Don't series, so I guess we should...
The first one I think we should mention is actually one of the earlier ones that we have here. It is from 1972 from the Italian godfather of gore, Lucio Fulci. And this is Don't Torture a Duckling.
Which, as you might be able to tell by the title, has to do with child murder.
I thought it had to do with torturing ducklings.
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
I
It's
was
not about
confused by
animal
that.
cruelty or anything. It's actually about a series of child murder.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah, because that seems to be a common theme in a lot of Fulci's films is child murder. I don't know if he was a big fan of killing children,
We didn't like children.
or if he was just trying to get a shock out of somebody. But this film has a particularly strange little boy in it that kind of wanders around the film.
Loves looking at titties.
That's right. He's exposed to grown
Delicious.
women's boobs on a regular
Wow.
basis. Yes, he's trying to figure
Little
out
pervert of a kid.
a series of child murders.
Maybe a little like we were as kids.
True.
But yeah, it's in a small village in Italy. There's a child murderer in the village. That's the basic plot of the movie, and it's a little different than other Fulci films.
Yeah, as
you're not
very-
gonna have too much gore scenes in the film, aside from maybe one. I think there was one pretty good one in there. But yeah, it's more of a atmospheric, great. It was shot awesome sort of film. So that is Don't Torture a Duckling from 1972.
You pick that up if you're a fan of giallo movies.
Or Don't.
That's right, don't do it. Next up is a little film by our good friend Robert Hammer.
All right.
The Hammer.
Yeah, he's the Hammer Brothers.
Yeah, that's Bob Hammer. This is Don't Answer the Phone.
Don't answer the phone.
Don't answer this phone, damn it. You leave a message or something. You don't
better
answer
not.
it.
This is a film about a Vietnam veteran, also photographer, who strangles women throughout his home and then calls into a radio talk show to describe his killings in it. And then he begins to stalk the host, which is remarkably like a little film that Clint Eastwood did many, many years ago called Play Misty for Me.
Yeah.
Or
which was-
Don't Play Misty for Me, which was a sequel.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie, though. Play Misty for me was a killer. I don't know if you'd call it a horror movie more than a suspense film, but it was an awesome little movie. And as is Don't Answer the Phone. Next one we have up is one of Linnea Quigley's early roles, directed by Lawrence Foles, and art direction by Bob Burns of Texas Chainsaw and Hills Have Eyes fame. This one is Don't Go Near the Park.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and as I remember, this is not that good of a movie, honestly, but the scenes with Linnea Quigley in it, she's really young in this. She's probably early 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe. What it is there's a killer in the park. I think it's something to do with they're Satanists and a cult or something like that.
And there's some really, really, like, horrid makeup
Yeah.
effects in it, as I remember. And what they do is they're killing people because they're cannibals, and if they eat people's flesh and drink their blood and stuff, they start to reverse their aging.
A little bit like a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Vampire's plot, but not that good of a movie, but
Oh,
it
it's-
gives you a fair warning of don't go near the park.
Really slow movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Finally, well, not finally, but finally in my set over here, we've got a film that is a completely different take on slasher films, I guess you would say. This is Joseph Ellison's
Don't go in the house.
Don't you go in that house.
This movie is about like a killer who has like a complex about his mother, but who also for some reason has set up his house in the form of like a giant incinerator. And instead of like the normal slasher movies where he kills people with knives or axes or anything, machetes, anything like that, he actually kills people by putting them in this giant room that's like an oven and then burning them to death. This is just a great little film. I liked it a lot because it's completely different than any other slasher film.
It is different, and I thought the execution of the movie was pretty good. The lead guy in it actually did do a pretty good job playing a psychopath. I'll say that.
All right. So keep your eye out, and remember,
Don't you go in the house.
Now, last one that I want to mention on here is one that we've actually already reviewed on YouTube, but it's one of the best all-time wilderness slasher films, and this one is Don't Go in the Woods Alone. Now, this is from director James Bryan, and it involves some campers going up in the woods, and there's a madman on the loose. He's like I don't know what the hell he is.
Big Grizzly Adams looking son of a
Yeah.
bitch with like some kind of weird spider looking web thing on his
he's got
face.
weird costuming and stuff like that. The film is unbelievably generic, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
From the music to just, I know that he said in the interview that we did with him on DEADPIT.com that the film stock they used was expired.
Yeah, the film stock was really, really old, and they were going to throw it out, so they gave it to him and let him buy it for a really discounted price, which is why the film looks like somebody wiped their ass with it.
But it does have some pretty good gore scenes in it, some hilarious gore scenes.
Especially the wheelchair scene.
The wheelchair
which
scene is awesome.
We'll let people buy the film to find out what that is.
Definitely buy the film from Code Red DVD. I know that is out. And that's what I have as far as don't do something. You don't go in the woods alone.
So, yeah, I guess we could talk about some more films that we don't have that have "don't" in the title.
Right, we'll just run through some of them real quick. Don't go in the attic.
Yeah. Don't look in the basement.
Don't look now.
Don't panic.
Don't mess with my sister.
Yeah.
Something, there's tons of them. Yeah. And we will probably have a scrolling graphic or something of all the ones that we found that tell you don't. This was a little inspired, actually, I think, by the trailer, Don't.
If you don't know, we went and saw Grindhouse, and we're still a little bit upset that the film didn't do better than it actually did. But we did get to see some wonderful trailers in the middle of the film, and one of them was actually called Don't, which was, I believe, directed by Edgar Wright, who did Shaun of the Dead, and that's the inspiration for this little piece that we're doing.
So we're telling you, don't.
Don't you miss us on Deadpit Radio.
In the woods tonight, you probably will be thrilled. Don't go out in the woods tonight, you probably will be killed. There's a friendly beast who lurks about and likes to feast. You won't get out without being killed and chopped up in little pieces.